Yesterday, millions of Americans watched Kelly Ripa struggle to hold back tears on live television. But what many didn't see was what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. That emotional moment didn't end on air. It followed her throughout the day. Instead of staying silent, Kelly Ripa chose to share a message, a quiet, honest message that touched fans across the country. What did she say? And why did her words resonate so deeply with so many people? Stay with us, because this emotional story goes far beyond the studio lights. The morning after an emotional moment on live television rarely feels ordinary. For Kelly Ripa, it became something much deeper, an emotional journey that didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Instead, it continued, quietly, thoughtfully, and in a way that touched millions of fans across America. Kelly Ripa has spent years bringing warmth, laughter, and comfort into people's homes. But on this particular day, the usual rhythm of morning television gave way to something far more personal. What began as an unexpected emotional pause on air soon evolved into a powerful message, one that resonated long after the show ended. This is the story of how Kelly Ripa's emotional day continued and why her message meant so much to so many. The day after the tears. The previous broadcast had already left viewers shaken. Seeing Kelly Ripa struggle to hold back tears on live television felt deeply personal. Fans didn't just watch the moment, they felt it. But emotions don't simply disappear once a show wraps. Behind the scenes, Kelly carried the weight of that moment. Like many people who push through difficult emotions in public, the quiet afterward often feels heavier than the moment itself. And that's where this story truly begins. For decades, Kelly Ripa has been a symbol of consistency. She's the person viewers trust to guide them through the morning with humor and reassurance. That reliability is exactly why her emotional moments stood out so sharply. Audiences are used to seeing Kelly, confident, energetic, in control. What they're not used to seeing is vulnerability, especially unplanned, unfiltered vulnerability. Yet that's precisely what made this moment so powerful. The emotional weight of always being on. Morning show hosts live under unique pressure. They don't just deliver content, they set the emotional tone for the day. That responsibility is invisible but heavy. Kelly Ripa has spoken before about the challenges of maintaining that balance. Showing up no matter how you feel, smiling through exhaustion, carrying personal concerns quietly. On this emotional day, that balance slipped, and viewers saw the cost of always being strong. The message that followed. Rather than retreating or avoiding the moment, Kelly chose a different path. She addressed it, not with drama, not with excuses, but with honesty. Her message, shared thoughtfully after the emotional broadcast, was simple, sincere, and deeply human. She thanked fans for their kindness, acknowledged the overwhelming support, and gently reminded everyone that emotions are part of life, even for those who seem unshakable. That message touched fans not because it was polished, but because it was real. Why fans felt so deeply connected. What made Kelly Ripa's message resonate wasn't celebrity, it was relatability. People across the country saw themselves in her words. Parents balancing work and family, professionals hiding stress behind a smile, individuals navigating emotional exhaustion. One fan wrote, "She reminded me that it's okay not to be okay, even when people expect you to be." That sentiment echoed across social media. As clips circulated and quotes from her message spread, the tone online was overwhelmingly supportive. Instead of criticism or speculation, fans responded with gratitude, encouragement, shared personal stories. In a digital space often filled with negativity, this moment became something rare: collective empathy. The power of saying less. Kelly didn't reveal every detail, She didn't turn her emotions into content, and that restraint mattered. By choosing to say just enough, she protected her privacy while still acknowledging the moment. Fans respected that balance, and it strengthened their trust in her. Sometimes the most powerful messages are the quietest ones. A lesson in emotional strength. There's a misconception that strength means never showing emotion. Kelly Ripa's emotional day challenged that idea. True strength, she demonstrated, looks like acknowledging feelings, accepting support, and continuing forward with grace. Her message didn't present her as fragile, it showed resilience. The co-hosts and crew behind the scenes. Those closest to Kelly understood the moment on a deeper level. Hosting a live show requires teamwork, trust, and emotional awareness. Sources close to the production noted how supportive the environment was, how space was given, how understanding replaced pressure. That behind-the-scenes compassion reflected the same humanity viewers felt on screen. Why this moment matters in today's world. This emotional day arrived at a time when many Americans feel stretched thin, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Kelly Ripa's experience mirrored what countless people are feeling: burnout, emotional overload, the challenge of staying composed. Her message became a reminder that acknowledging those feelings isn't weakness, it's honesty. Moments like this subtly change expectations. Viewers are no longer drawn only to perfection, they're drawn to authenticity. Kelly Ripa didn't lose credibility by showing emotion. She gained connection. And that connection is what keeps audiences loyal. Rather than defining her by tears, fans began describing Kelly with new words: brave, honest, human. Her emotional day didn't overshadow her career, it added depth to it. Kelly's words weren't just for viewers, they were for anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed. They reminded people to be kinder to themselves, to recognize emotional limits, to allow space for humanity. That's why this message didn't fade quickly, it lingered. What comes next for Kelly Ripa? Kelly returned to her role with the same professionalism she's known for, but something had shifted. The connection between her and her audience felt stronger, more genuine. Viewers weren't just watching a host anymore, they were supporting a person. And that support matters. Years from now, fans may forget specific segments or interviews, but they'll remember this emotional day. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was honest. Kelly Ripa's emotional day didn't end with tears. It continued with gratitude, reflection, and connection. Her message reminded fans that even those who bring light into others' lives sometimes need understanding themselves. And in sharing that truth, quietly, sincerely, Kelly Ripa didn't just touch fans' hearts, she reminded them of their own humanity. Kelly Ripa's emotional day didn't end with tears. It ended with a message, one that reminded millions of people that it's okay to pause, to feel, and to be human. In a world that expects strength every single day, her honesty became a quiet act of courage. And maybe that's why this moment stayed with so many of us, because we saw ourselves in it. If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe, because the most meaningful stories are the ones that remind us we're not alone.